Hi, so let's solve this challenge. It says a wolf in sheep's clothing, and it says wolves have been reintroduced to Great Britain. You are a sheep farmer and are now plagued by wolves which pretend to be sheep. Fortunately, you are good at spotting them. Warn the sheep in front of the wolf that it is about to be eaten. Remember that you are standing at the front of the queue, which is at the end of the array. So gives us an example here and says this wolf is pretending to be a sheep, and we can see the position of the sheep. And if we scroll this here, you can see it says you are here at the front of the queue, so the shepherd is here. So it says if the wolf is the closest animal to you, return please go away and stop eating my sheep. So that means if the wolf comes to 1, then we'll return this. Otherwise, return sheep number n, you are about to be eaten by a wolf. So in that case, we will tell sheep number 2 that is about to be eaten by the wolf. So it says note there will always be exactly 1 wolf in the array. So look at examples. It says we're given this array, and we can see wolf is in the number 2 position. So it said the output will be sheep number 1, which is this, you're about to be eaten by the wolf. And the second example, we can see that the wolf is in the number 1 position. So it says output please go away and stop eating my sheep. So the shepherd is directly talking to the wolf. So let's solve that with JavaScript now and see how that could be solved. So the first thing to consider is that we need to get the position of the wolf, because the position of the wolf determines what is said, what the shepherd says. So if the wolf is at the end, that means if the wolf is at the beginning or is at the first position, like at this case, we'll say please go away, blah. So but if the wolf is not at the first position, like in this case is at the second, then we'll just find the index that is next to the wolf ahead, which is a sheep, and then we'll form this with this one here being the index as n here. So let me just bring this my JavaScript file, so that I can get the example of what I want to do. So let me just copy that there, and I'm going to take this example here and bring it here. Sorry. So I'm going to call this the array. So we need to also call that, and I'll do it that way. And now we can see that it's getting exactly the array now. So if we want to find out from here, I want to also find out the index position of wolf here. I would do something like this, log out, and I will take the same queue, and now I will take dot index of, and I will just take that of wolf instead of sheep. So wolf, because we can only have 1 wolf. And now it gives me the index position 3, because it's counting from left to right, so 0, 1, 2 and 3 here. But we want to count from right to the left. So what do? The easier way to do that is to find the length of this array. So what that means is the number of items in the array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this case, and then we can subtract the index position from that to get the position from the right. So let me just show you exactly what I mean. So we'll just say we want to log out, and this time the queue length, which is 5. And now when we log out the difference, so I'm going to take this and I'll say minus, and I'm taking this that way. And now what can we notice? We can notice now that it's saying 2. So the wolf in this case is in the second position from the right. So let's assume we add one more sheep here to the right. Let's see the difference now, and we can see that the length of the array is now 6, and it's saying the index position of the wolf from the left is going to be 3 because it's saying 0, 1, 2, 3. And now the difference of the length from the index position of the wolf is now going to be 3, which is going to be the location from the right. So 1, 2, and 3, as we can see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this into a variable here. So I'll just say const, I'll just say position is equals to, is equals to that. So if the position is 0, or in this case the position can never be 0 because it's 3 here. So if the position is 1, that's the first one. So if the position is 1, then I'm going to console.log that. Please go away as it says here, because if the wolf is the first position, it will say this. Else we'll console.log this, and I'm going to console.log this one. So how do we get this n value here? So in this case, the n value is going to be the position minus 1. And why is that? Because assuming the position in this case is 3, we know that the next one ahead of the wolf is going to be minus 1. So this 3 and this 2. So right, so assuming we take this one off this way, then we now know that this is 2 now, as it's showing here. So 2 minus 1 will be 1. The sheep will be in the first position, and that's what it's going to do here. And if you can see the difference here, it says sheep number 1. So this is exactly what we're going to do to see how we can solve that. So I'll come back here, and I'm now going to try to solve it that way. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to just say position to find out the position for the wolf. It's now going to be the q dot length, as we saw over here. We needed to find that, and we were able to subtract from the index position of wolf. So we'll do that, minus q dot index of, to find the index position of wolf. So once we've done that, we can now use the if else statement and say if position, just like we did, is 1, then we want to return, and we're going to return this statement here. Else we're going to return, and what we want to return is this one. But because we are going to put the variable inside, we'll use the backtick and just copy this out here. And now remember, we said we're going to use this variable, which is the position minus 1, just that way. And I think that solves the challenge. So let's test. And now we forgot to put the $, which makes it the variable. So let's test again. and it passed, and let's attempt, and it passed. So that's good. So let's see if we can now refactor this, and we're just going to use ternary operation, the ternary operator. So basically it's going to just return this, and we're just going to do that. So we're saying if the position is 1, then just return this, else. So it's going to be colon, then we're just going to take all this in here and get rid of this one. So that's what we're going to have there. So let's test again. Passed. Let's attempt again, and it passed. So that's great. So now we've refactored it in this way, but there's another way we can do this using the reverse method, so that we don't have to find the division, or find the difference between the length and the index position of wolf. So what that means is we just simply need to reverse the array, and then we can now use the position to define what we're going to output. So let's look at this case again. Here we have Q, and it's giving us exactly the Q. So assuming that we come to over here to reverse that, so we'll just say console.log, then Q dot reverse. So we're using the reverse method here. And now what do we have here? We can see that it's reversed the array, and now sheep, which is over here, has become the first one here at index 0, wolf, which was here, come here, index 1. And we can also assume that the shepherd, instead of being over here, is now here. So let me just clean this up so that it would reflect the real value. So now it's saying 1 because the reverse method we carried out on the queue will reverse this, and this will now be at this side. So it will be now 0, 1, 2, and so on. So in this case it's given 1. So what we want to do from here is to now find out if this position is now 0. So if this wolf is found at the beginning after we've reversed it, and remember now the shepherd is at the beginning, then we'll now log this out, right? Return this. Else we now want to return, instead of -1, we just return the position, right? So let's see the result of this. Now it says undefined because we are kind of not returning that. So let me return this. So it's saying sheep number 1 because once we've reversed this, this will now be in the first position, and the wolf will be in the second position and afterwards. So it's actually correct in this way, because we know in this case, before we reverse that, the shepherd was here, and this one, and then the wolf. But assuming we take this one off this way, now we can see, please go away, stop eating my sheep, because now it's saying this, right? So let's take this understanding back here. So in this case we have already made it into the ternary operator, using the ternary operator. So what I'm going to do here, instead of all this, I'm just going to take this one out, and instead what we want to find out is the Q dot reverse. So we want to reverse it first, and now we have the position. So if the wolf is at the first index 0, then it's the closest to the shepherd, so we'll say please go away, and if the sheep is at position 1, for example, it will now say sheep number 1, because sheep number 1 will be the first one item. So it says you're about to be eaten by the wolf. So this is better. So let me test and attempt. and now it's passed. So that's basically the way to solve that. So let's try that in Python. And Python, we're going to do just a similar thing, and I'm going to first of all reverse it. So in Python, to reverse, you just use the same method, reverse. But with Python, you can't assign it to a value yet, because it acts directly on the list. So what you will do instead, we just take the position, and we'll say the position is going to be the queue which has already been reversed, right? And we want to find the index position of the wolf. So we'll just say index. In Python it's index, in JavaScript it's index up, so index, and now it gives us the position. So we'll say if the position in this case is 0, then we're going to now return what we have here, that one. Then else we're going to return, and we'll just do the same thing we did there. So we'll take this one that way, and we'll use the f string because we're going to change this into a variable that way, and we're going to call the position. That way. So this should pass. Let's try an attempt. So that's it. So that one passed. So let's see if we can just change it into a ternary statement. So in Python, we have to first call when it's the output when it's true first. So we'll just say this one, we'll cut that out, and we're going to put that here. So we want this to be returned. So we return this if position is 0, else then we'll now return this one. So just that way. So let's test that, and let's try. So basically that's how to solve this challenge.